Paris, chérie, mon beau Paris, c'est toujours toi que j'aime.
Hello everyone, and welcome again to Paris Video Tutorials, Paris Set Me Free. And here we are in Paris. We're heading down to the south again, down here, because that's where I was on a particularly snowy day that we had recently, at the beginning of December. And we're going to head to the park. Yeah, there you see, there's the middle of Paris, lots of lovely parks around Paris. And this one's down in the south. I discovered it kind of years and years ago when I was looking for a place to stay. Never did, and it was only later on when I came to live very close to it on the other side of the periphery here that I started getting to know it and using it as my local running track. Great park for running around. I even saw a guy who specializes in on his blog on running things doing one on this. It's really lots of windy paths and so on. So having said all of that, I'm not actually going to go into the park, just outside it, because it was closed for inclement weather. So I'm going to try and head down to where I was when I took this. Now, where have I landed? Sometimes you click on these maps and you don't know where you are. Right, that looks like a cité universitaire, which is basically a place where students live. Ah, there's good old Gentilly station. No, I mean, sorry, a cité universitaire station, which is one of my locals on the RER line. And what we're going to do is head over to a classic Parisian kiosk thing. You see, it's got the old roof on it and so on. Very nice. And there's the entrance to the park. So that's where I go in running. I'm not going to go in running this time because, as I said, I couldn't get in because of inclement weather. I'm going to look at this panel here. Alright. Now, that isn't what was on it when I was there. I'll show you what was. This bus thing here. I've got about 4 of these pictures and I'm going to show you them all in turn, and you can tell me which one you think is nicest. So the gate that I was looking at there is just behind us there. Okay, right, so I took this one. You can see the snow there. It was really amazing. There was so much of it. So there's that one where there's this great bus. That's what attracted me, because I come from London, and this is a typical London bus. It's one of the old Routemaster buses. I think the last one. It was one where there was a conductor at the back who went ding ding when the bus was ready to go, and went along collecting fares. There's a blast from the past. So anyway, this is one of them, and that's why I liked it. I thought, oh, good old London in Paris, you know. So there was this guy going past. It's really pretty much divided down the middle, this one. So what I really needed was something interesting here. And guess what I'd really have liked? And of course, a woman came along in a bright red tracksuit when of course I didn't have my camera ready. So there's one option. Here's another one I had. And as you can see, there's a bit of red now, bit of red car there, which kind of goes with the redness here. The perspective of the bus is great, as I mentioned in another shot when I had a tram around about here. I'm on the sort of corner. Well, the person who did this picture was on the corner of this bus, which gives that superb tailing away into the distance type of perspective, with some funny cartoon characters in the bus. And here's the potential for the echo, the repetition of a photograph that makes it stand out a bit. There's a red car. Unfortunately, there's 2 fundamental things wrong with that potential there. One is the nose of the bus is chopped off, because these are actually ads which roll over. So this one was on its way out of the picture, and this car was blocked by this one. Let's see if I did any better later on. Well, here's another attempt, and you can see that in this one I had the whole bus, but this car was still blocked. So I was getting there. I'd really have liked someone in bright red running past. Didn't happen. So I waited and waited and waited. And just as the bus was about to disappear on another of its rollovers, this white car got out of the way. This red one was just about to move. But what I got was what I was looking for. Some sort of repetition. Old and modern in this. And if you look at the final result as well, you can see that it came out quite well, because you've got this bus coming towards you this way, and this is kind of coming towards you that way, not quite, but I think it's good enough. It's a lovely red colour, which goes with the red of the bus. There you've got the snow in the background. Look at that, the snow on the blackness here, the snow in front of the car, and it's got Christmas songs written on the front. Now, it's kind of a happy coincidence, but it's kind of good as well, because you need echoes in photos. I've got one echo here, which is the red of the bus and the red of the car. The bus, if you draw a line halfway, this bus is coming out at you this way, the car is coming out that way. So there's kind of separation of eras in a way, driving away from each other, the old and the new. You've also got the happiness of the people here, big smiley faces, although you can't see them particularly well, but there are. And here you've got miserable people in their car in the cold, thinking, who's that bloody photographer pointing his camera at? And then you've got another, so it's not just echoes and repetitions, it's contrast as well. So you've got the contrast of the old and the new. You've got the contrast of the happy people in the bus and the unhappy people in the car. And another repetition of theme is the fact that you've got Christmas written there, Christmas songs, and you've got the reality of Christmas, which is snowflakes falling down in this hemisphere. In any case, you can see the bonnet of the car is completely covered in snow, so is the background, and you've got snowflakes coming on anything that's black. So it's quite good, really. In terms of Frenchness, well, there is a bit of French, because look, that's in French, that writing there. If anyone knows Paris, they might recognise this as being a typical station which goes with a tram, one of the new trams which circles Paris. And if they're really up, they might guess that this building here, which was in one of my last photos on the tram, is part of a cité universitaire, which is where people stay from other countries when they're going to university in Paris. So that's my photograph. Quite pleased with it. It's lovely and colourful. I've bumped up the colours slightly because it was a bit dull. You look at the originals. Bit of a shame to have a photograph that dull. Doesn't really go with my theme of moving what we see in front of us slightly towards irreality. My photographic aim, I tend to drag this little comment out every few videos, just in case you're looking at them for the first time. My photographic aim is to try to create images which are somewhere between visual, hard, cold, and sometimes boring reality, and something of a dreamlike abstract painting almost, or at least impressionist painting. Using effects, but not to the extent where people think that the effect is more impressive than the photograph. Like I always often say, I do believe that a good photograph is made before you click the shutter. Obviously using the tools that you have in your hands and your imagination, knowing what all those buttons do, but in the end you have to have had the idea. You have to have seen and imagined what might go well together. That's why I waited for the red car. I knew that this on its own wasn't enough. So there it is. There's my Christmassy shot. Pretty pleased that this happened just before Christmas. I'll tell you, I really had to drag myself out into that cold, exposing my poor old Nikon to the elements, bits of snowflakes dripping off its lens and all the rest of it. But you know, that's what I got it for. So one little trip out, and I got about 5 or 6 photographs, which I'm reasonably happy with for an hour or two's outing on a chilly December day in Paris. That's it. Thanks for visiting. Do leave comments if any of these interest you, or if you'd like to add something, or even ask a question. I'd be delighted to hear from you. So thanks a lot. See you again soon in Paris. Bye bye now.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.